Malcolm X. While some civil rights leaders urged a more cautious approach to winning civil rights, Malcolm X expressed the feelings of many blacks that more uncompromising methods of struggle were needed. Like members of the Black Panther Party for self-defense, Malcolm X advocated the right of armed self-defense for blacks and other oppressed groups who live in so violently racist a society as the United States. Here is an excerpt of a speech Malcolm X delivered in Detroit, Michigan. 2 years after giving this speech, he was assassinated in New York City.
How's everybody doing tonight? All right. I just want to have an off-the-cuff conversation between, you and me, okay? Us. We're going to talk right down to earth in a language that everyone can easily understand. We all agreed tonight, all the speakers have agreed, that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is us. We are her problem. The only reason she has a problem with us is because she don't want us here. And every time you look at yourself, be you brown, black, red, yellow, a so-called Negro, you represent a person who poses such a serious problem for America because you're not wanted. But once you face this fact, then you can start plotting a course that will make you appear intelligent instead of unintelligent. What you and I need to do is first learn to forget our differences. When we come together, we don't come together as Baptists or Methodists. You don't catch hell because you're a Baptist. You don't catch hell because you're a Methodist. And you sure don't catch hell because you're an American. Because if you were an American, you wouldn't catch hell. You don't catch hell because all of us catch hell because we're black. We all catch hell for that same reason. We're so-called black folks, we're so-called Negroes, second-class citizens, and ex-slaves. You're nothing but an ex-slave. You don't like to be called that, do you?
No, I don't.
But what else are you? You're ex-slaves. You didn't come here on the Mayflower. You came here on a slave ship in chains. And you were brought here by the people who came here on the Mayflower, the so-called pilgrims and the founding fathers. They're the ones that brought you here. We all have a common enemy. We have this in common. We have a common oppressor, a common exploiter, and a common discriminator. But once we realize what we have in common, that this common enemy, we can all come together and unite on the basis of what we have in common. What we have in common, and the foremost thing, is the white man. He's an enemy to all of us. Now I know that some of y'all think that some of them ain't enemies. Time will tell. Look at the American Revolution in 1776. That revolution was for what? For land. What did they want the land for? For independence. Now, how was it carried out? Bloodshed. The French Revolution, what was that based on? The landless against the landlord. What was it for? It was for land. How did they get it? Bloodshed. The Russian Revolution, what was it based on? The landless against the landlord. How did they bring it about? Bloodshed. You haven't got a revolution unless it doesn't involve bloodshed. But for some strange reason, we are afraid to bleed. As long as the white man sends you to Korea, you bled. When he sent you to Germany, you bled. When he sent you to the South Pacific to fight the Japanese, you bled. You bleed for white people when it comes to doing the things that they tell you to do, but when it comes to seeing your own churches being bombed and the little black girls being murdered, you haven't got any blood. You bleed when the white man says bleed. You bite when the white man says bite. You even bark when the white man says bark. I hate to say this about us, but it's true. How are you going to be nonviolent in Mississippi as violent as you were in Korea? How can you justify being nonviolent in Mississippi and Alabama when your churches are being bombed and your little girls are being murdered? If violence is wrong in America, then violence is wrong abroad. If it's wrong to be violent defending black women, black children, black babies, and black men, then it's wrong for America to draft us and make us violence abroad in defense of her. And if it's right for America to draft us and teach us to be violent in defense of her, then it is right for you, and me to do whatever it is necessary to defend our own people right here in this country.